You're such an asshole.
So I'm gonna have to edit what this guy wrote, not only because I disagree with it on some things, but look, dude, you hate women. I rarely say that, and I can understand how women have behaved in the West, and it's been on. And I'm in full disclosure or not disclosure, in full intellectual honesty. I can get it. Okay, I understand. That doesn't excuse it. All right, women do treat men like crap in this country. It's like uh, Sergeant Powell from Die Hard. This man hasn't seen diddly squat from you down here. Now you think he's gonna give a shit what you do to him if he makes it out of there alive? I get it, but you're now letting your emotions and not your intelligence run you, and you can see it. And so I can't read what you've written because it's not acceptable. What you propose. And it's bad form. Like, look, the solution to basically women's misandry or society's mistreatment of men isn't to swing the pendulum back the other way. That's how we got here. I mean, there was a very dark observation on the other side. Someone was talking to some girl and something about how, yeah, this unfair thing happened to men. And this girl said, finally, payback. And this was like a young 21-year-old child. And it's like, listen, bitch, you, payback, payback. You've only been here this entire time that people have been celebrating you. What payback? You weren't around. You weren't oppressed. That's what happens when the pendulum goes too far. We're not going to have a functional society to say, no, we're treating everybody according to the same rules and laws. And there's none of this, 500 years ago, the British invaded the Irish and I demand reparation. We're not going to, it's not going to, it just ain't going to, well, if you want to keep going back, because all you're doing is playing victim, oppressor, oppressor, victim. When no one's the oppressor or victim, the last time there was oppressor victim was long ago. You could be upset. You could say that's not right. But the solution or the thing that you're proposing is Elliot Rodgery. So I'm going to ask you to use your intel. I'm going to talk about it. We're going to talk about women's independence. And we'll talk about how, well, the problems you got, well, maybe it might be men's fault, society's fault. Dear Cap, I understand and accept that women no longer need men. However, why should strong, independent women benefit from a society built by men along with the taxes men pay? All right, let's stop right here. Women in the past did build society. Back in the day, women were contributing members to society. There wasn't go back before 1965, there wasn't a welfare state. Women weren't like this. There were women. What do you think raising kids is and maintaining a home is? I've owned a home for, God, since I was 24. It takes a lot to run a home. It's a real job. Now, think it's just me. If I had kids, I wouldn't be able to work and run a home. I wouldn't. And all that stuff that was built by men, I'm not saying men didn't lay the roads, build the railroads, work at the factories, or wire up and electrify the country. But who do you think fueled them? Who do you think patched up their clothes? Who do you think took care of the kids? It was women, right? Women absolutely help contribute and build America and any other wonderful economy and country you see today. It's just in the past, I don't know, 3 generations, let's just say, did they get all uppity and start like, oh my goodness, I'm so intelligent. I'm a journalism major and have become parasitic. But I got news for you. If you look at tax rates, like who pays what, the majority of men and women are both parasitic. Only a small percentage of the American population not only pays taxes, but pays more in taxes than what they consume at state, federal, and local levels. So what if you're looking at the roads were both built by men and women, not of the past 3 generations. I'll grant you that. Or you could say most of the infrastructure and everything has been disproportionately built by men. There are women who work real jobs. There's no doubt about it. But the strong, independent benefit from a society built by why should we benefit from built from men of previous times past? I didn't build the roads. I didn't build the bridge I drove over. That was like a generation or two ago. Now you mentioned along with the taxes men pay. That actually has some veracity. Right? Men pay more in taxes, women consume more. And not necessarily because they're parasitic. It's because they live longer. There's the study that came out with New Zealand that looked at like what net economic contribution. I think men are barely contributing by the end of like they're barely net positive contributors to society, and women cost I think $120,000 each when it's all said and done. And it's not right. Yes, they live longer, and also considering that you're measuring all women, that includes a generation of women where it was traditional that you would stay home and raise the kid. These numbers will change as that goes on. However, I'm acutely aware of the contribution gap. Some people call it the earnings gap. It's not a wage gap, it's a contribution gap, it's a work ethic gap. I'm acutely aware that girls major in dumber subjects than men at higher rates. Men also major in dumb subjects, nowhere near the rate that women do. And we will have to wait until everyone's in their 70s and towards the end of life to start seeing our women. Well, I'll tell you this right now. No, women are not contributing anywhere near as much to the economy as men. That you could go poll at the Department of Labor. Right? But some women are contributing. And you can't just, all these women, not all women are collecting welfare, eating bonbons, demanding a student loan bailout for the women's studies degree. There are some real working women. They're not, maybe not, probably not more than half, but there are some. If they want to truly be strong and independent, then they should be cast out of society. Why should we? Okay, there's your hate. That's hate. Why would you cast them out? Why not just let them be? You want to like ostracize them and banish them from the kingdom, cast them out. Just don't, if you want women, I believe in this. Women want to be independent, let them be independent. I don't help random women with their computer repairs or their carpentry or their auto mechanics. I only help like my girlfriend and maybe my mom. And maybe there's one older lady I'll help out because she's older. She's a nice, sweet lady. She's helped me. But yeah, if I see, no, you got this. You vote Democrat. That's more of a Democrat. That's like you're voting against my best interests. But I'm not like, let's kick all the women out of the castle. Just don't have anything to do with them. They should be thrown into wild places in the world. I will drop them off in places like the Mongolian desert, certain parts of Africa that have little to no government, or the Arctic Circle. Okay, in your fantasy here, that's not fair. All right. Their four sisters, four mothers did contribute to this economy. They did. They should be given the same access to the schools and the roads. Like, no, we're not going to prohibit, we're not going to drop you off in the middle of nowhere. That you're immediately handicapping them. So let's see them do it now. It's like, well, they can't. They're in the middle of the Mongolian desert. If they are truly strong and independent, they would build their own damn society. I don't see, I can understand taxation. I can understand affirmative action. That's forcing other people in society to make accommodations and lessen their life for them, among other people who collect government aid and all that. And fine, you can remove that so everyone is on truly equal footing. But you're asking them to build it up from scratch. No, we can. I don't think there's like that doesn't have to be this banishing or war. It's just like, no, you take care of yourself. Yeah, you can live in the United States. Yeah, you can use these roads. You can send your kids to the schools. No, I'm not helping you. I'm not helping you. You can do that. And that would morally, you be treating women equivalently. Ideally, if we were spacefaring species with multiple planets, okay, now you're going off on the deep end. That I'm not going to read. make for an entertaining show. I would give these women at most a backpack with enough food to last a week. It's not equal. Look, I am all for the genuine equal treatment of all people, and you should be too. This is a hate fantasy. This is where, like, I can't wait to see those girls suffer and squirm. Don't that No. No. What you should say is, I can't wait to see stupid and lazy people suffer and squirm, not women. And you should advocate I guess what I'm trying to point out is individualism. You can't judge a group of people by a group. Right? You should have you judge people by their individual actions. And I understand women have rejected men as a group. I'm sure that hurts. It strikes deep to many men because it's the biological reason you're here. All right. But now you're throwing in a bunch of other gals. No. You're way too hate filled. All you have to do is let people screw up. That's it. Men and women. And then you'll see it. It's not like you got to, look, women have been lied to for about 3 generations now. I mean, are you looking for your pound of flesh? Are you looking to see where women's independence got them? All right, you've seen the antidepressant use, right? That skyrocketed. Happiness studies. Even with all the legs up in the world, women's finances, especially the younger, are worse and worse. Married women do better than not married women, generally speaking. The single mom epic. Do you think it's fun being a single mom? Don't let the praise and adulation and the songs and the Lizzo music or whatever fool you. These are not happy people. They I will be generally speaking, they have given up on men, they have given up on family, have given up on kids. They believe that a career and leftist politics as a group is more important than love and children. They believe their career is more important than children. That's why I'm highly critical of people that drop their kids off at daycare. Highly critical. What more damage do you want to do to them? This is by their own hand. And then there are, like, have you ever, Rachel, she wrote a Feminist Origins of the Occult, or Occult Origins of Feminism. She's a stay-at-home mom. She loves her kids. She's happy. I know several traditional women that they cook for their husband, they love their kids, and they're happy. But this stuff, we'll send them out to the Arctic Circle, put them on an iceberg, see how long they last, film it. But other than that, they would be on their own. I would provide them a way back if they beg for it, but they would be branded with some kind of mark and used as an example to any other women claiming they don't need men. No, no. Almost probably never happen unless men come together and truly get tired of this. No. Okay, wait, the pendulum has gone way too far. All right, let's talk about women's independence. Women's independence is just like anybody else's independence. You either support yourself or you don't. That's it. You support yourself or you don't. And for women who are truly independent, they support themselves and not I'm a strong independent woman. I have a job, I pay my rent, but my parents help me out and I get government money. That's not independent. Right? But independence, you're either independent or you're not. And I would say that's probably the peak moral thing you could do for society is not be a parasite upon society. To not require other people have to work more to cover for your mistakes. Right? And that could go both ways for both men and women. And if women work hard, and there are women out there, they become engineers, they become doctors, they become accountants. You could even argue that they become stay-at-home moms. Like they're the housewife. Well, how are they independent? They're not working. BS, they're not working. I got some homemade jam. Now, of course, the joke is the little kids make me the jam because child slave labor makes it just that much better. But I have a feeling the wife is making the jam. But they're not sitting on their ass doing nothing. As I said before, in the olden days, being a parent, in this case, a stay-at-home mom, and keeping a home, that is real work. So if they come to an agreement with a man like, okay, I'm going to manage and take care of the house. I'm going to take care of you. You go out there and make the money and bring home the bacon. I still believe that's an independent woman. Where they become dependent is where they collect a government check or somehow live off of their parents. Or I guess you could also make the argument they get affirmative action and get positions and promotions and jobs they don't deserve. You can even go so far as to say that there are some industries made out of whole cloth that are way disproportionately welfare jobs program for women. You know, like early childhood education, social work, things like that, nonprofit directors, all that other stuff. You can make that argument there, right? But there are real women who support themselves. There are real women who come to an accord. If you're upset with those who are parasitic and by definition are not independent, and I think where you get pissed off is because they claim they're independent and don't need no man. Meanwhile, they're taking money out of everyone's pocket, our working women as well. I understand why you might be angry. To that, two things. One, look at them. How happy are they? Just look at them. All right. So maybe you calm down a bit. It's not like they're getting away with this scot-free. You know, I don't know if you've noticed the number of women that are like desperate now to freeze their eggs, so they didn't need no men and they didn't factor in men. All right, go ahead, take a look. They're not exactly the happiest type of people. So calm down. Vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. All right, you don't need to go round them up and throw them off into some camp somewhere like a guy with a funny mustache. And then the second thing, oh shoot, what was it? That they're already punishing themselves. Oh, the second thing, how do you think they got there? They got there because men spoiled them. That's how they got there. Bill Burr said it best. Women are surrounded by this tornado of misinformation and nobody corrects them because we want to fuck them. Now, maybe not you, but your anger, I think, is also misplaced because it's in a very serious and main way, it's not their fault. Like, take a look at Gavin Newsom. That's one of the most spoiled, rotten, worthless human being children on the face of the planet. Had everything handed to him. Whether you're female or male, it doesn't matter. If you're spoiled, you become an insufferable prick. And it's not the parents' fault that the kid is a spoiled little temper tantrum throwing. I'm sorry, it's not the kid's fault he's a temper tantrum throwing brat. It's the parents' fault. And just as like rich parents always spoil the kids, become these pretentious assholes that go and, bankrupt entire industries, fake venture capital groups, go to the Ivy League schools, those people, all right? How's that any different for women? Except instead of being spoiled by parents, are spoiled by men. Like, okay, I'll buy anything. Okay, no, who is shielding them from reality? And that's why I'm a little bit sympathetic with women, even if they're like, I don't need no man, strong, independent type. How'd they get that opinion? And I've talked about what was the three people that want to fuck them. There's men, obviously, they literally want to fuck women. There's Democrats, they want women's vote, and they'll tell you don't need no man, and they'll fuck women's love lives up like that, so they're 15 looking at egg freezing and wasting their life. And there's corporations, and corporations love fucking women because they want female labor. They want women to be materialists. They don't want women to stand at home raising kids. You could serve you'd fix the jeans instead of buying a whole new. You need a brand new SUV. You need that. They like it because women spend more and then they work more and that lowers labor costs. And banks, I guess you could say that part of corporations. They love women too because women go into debt for a whole host of other things. But you guys do that too. And so with the whole world lying to women, saying, oh, you're just brave and amazing. Buy my book, I'm Oprah, How to Fuck Up Your Life and Be a Miserable Spinster Like Me. They've been just a spoiled, coddled child in this country. And it's not, just as it isn't some rich, snot-nosed kid's fault that they grew up delusional, thinking they're great and amazing. It's like, the millennials. You want to use the millennials as an example? I'm highly critical, constructively critical of the millennials. Why? I'd like them to save the remaining half of their life that remains. I don't do it because I dislike them. But they were lied to. Now, inevitably, it's like, look, you were 22. You thought your degree in journalism was going to go somewhere. Inevitably, you got to you got to think. But there's no doubt about it. They were lied to. And American women and Western women in general are lied to. That they got this basically, and it's not an anti-male, it's an anti-human kind of attitude. Like the number one thing in life is me, my girl bossness. I don't know how else you would describe it. And just as the millennials are failing and miserable and suffering financially, women are failing and miserable and some financially suffering, but I'd say mentally, emotionally, psychologically, romantically, they're dead. It's a disaster. And unlike men, women have a shelf life, not only in terms of beauty and looks, but menopause as well. If they ever wanted to have kids, and they're just, I mean, we're, my generation and now the millennials, holy cow, these girls, that's it. But that was your chance. That was your shot. Right. But it was society that lied to women that made it like that. So I'm not saying, you know, don't, when they say they don't need you, take that at face value. Yeah, they don't need you. They say men are pigs, or the general antagonistic negative attitude women have towards men today. Yeah, that's real. All right. But also, like, well, how did that happen? How did they get to that point? Well, they were lied to. At what point now, you lie to an 8-year-old, the 8-year-old does the thing, it's erroneous to society, you can't fault the 8-year-old. A 28-year-old still believes, I'm brave and amazing because I was born with a hole between my legs. Although, inevitably, someone tells the 8-year-old kid to shut up. Everyone keeps lying to women, especially men, and that's why I think men hold a disproportionate amount of responsibility. I mean, Democrats come up with we'll give you something for nothing. I mean, inevitably, you should be an adult enough to figure that out, that's wrong. But the men, oh my God, you're just great. And an army of simps, and however many times they could get bailed out. They're the ones that's guys. So if you're upset how one group of society has treated you, ask how that group of society got to the point to have that behavior to treat you that way. And if you look, it's like, oh, it's guys. Because we just wanted to get our dicks wet, and we kept lying to women because we wanted to fuck them. Now, I go and I try. Well, not a lot. At points like this, I go and I try to reason, or at least for posterity, put it out there. Okay, ladies, here's, if you want to find a guy, be nice, long hair, no tattoos, no other man's kids. I know it's going to fall on deaf ears, in part because I also believe women don't really like men that much. We also cannot undo the conditioning and brainwashing they've gotten since they were little girls to full-grown adults. It's not worth it all. I get called, hey, sweetheart, maybe you ought to not major in sociology. Maybe you should major in accounting. Why do you hate women? You get called a misogynist when you're actually trying to help. And after a while, you're just like, I don't want to waste my time anymore. And it's not going to stop. This train is going off the tracks. No matter how much you try to stop, it's just going to go off the tracks. So what I would recommend you do is, one, temper your anger. Try to be empathetic with these girls and realize how they came to this conclusion, and realize a lot of his team guy that got him there. All the corporations and the Democrats and academia and family, I know they all contributed. But men men never saying, no, I'm not going to go out with your sister. She's a single mom. No, I'm not going to go out. You're acting like a pain in the, you got tattoos. You got all you symptoms. Oh my God, you're beautiful. Can I give you more money on the internet? All right, so understand how this came to be. But then second, you watch my video on karma. Dude, you don't have to do anything to get back at these people. They've literally kicked out love from their life for leftist politics, things, and work and paying taxes. Oh, and a commute when you factor in all the time. That's what they did. They gave up love and children for degree and college and education, and some of them are perfectly fine with that. There's some data and evidence that indicates otherwise. I don't seem to be doing too fine with it, but that's not my choice. I don't care. Right? And I think the pride and the ego they'll never admit. They'll never admit that they chose wrongly. We're convinced or hoodwinked wrong. They're going to double down. There's just too much pride invested in there. We don't need no and independence. And that's why I think the independence goes from something of a good economic, virtuous, and moral thing. Like, no, I'm independent. I'll clear to where I'm independent. Oh, God, it's like saying I'm gay. Like no one cares. we really, it's not an accomplishment. It's good for you. Do you make a sandwich and do you suck a mean dick? I really, that's the only reason. I mean, I'm glad you're not taking my tax money. Thank you very much. That's awfully impressive, and I'm glad you're a dentist. But for me personally, to be interested in you, I need to know if you suck a mean dick and you make a nice sandwich. How dare? Okay, bye. I'm going away now. But there's no. Let's round them up and ship them off to Libya. Another thing of independence is they have the right to make these choices. I really look. Girl supports herself, doesn't commit a crime, doesn't nag me to death about being the second coming of Lucifer and how I just, girls go and they do the thing, they work their job. That's fine. You don't have to like guys. It's just, just don't complain when, you did your thing, you made your choice. All right, you made your choice. Now you have to live with that choice. Don't complain about how bad. No, I don't want to hear it. So there is that actual, like they're actually independent and choosing to have an independent lifestyle, not just financially be independent. But I wish they would own up to it and then just stop complaining on the TikTok. Although that TikTok could be just a bunch of internet drama fanfare. And it's always a cute girl on TikTok. Oh my God, I can't find a man. Just a billion Sims giving her $1,000 a piece. Meanwhile, her boyfriend's filming. But an actual independent woman, yeah. Like, like a woman who doesn't vote Democrat. I'm all over that. A real independent woman. Wait, an independent woman that makes up her own mind and goes against the grain, like, nah, I'm going to vote Republican. Maybe I'll major in engineering. Maybe I'll be a stay-at-home mom. You like, I like that genuine independence, not hive mind thinking. You have to reward that. But and they should have independence. Go and choose. Do you want to manage them? See, you're starting to become a dictator and you're starting to face the dictator paradox. Like, do you know what a pain in the ass it has to be the CCP to make sure everyone does exactly what you want them to? Can you imagine just what a miserable life it is being one of these fact checkers or censors at big tech that make sure, I don't know about that. What do you know what that life is like managing people? Why don't you just sit back and let women make their own choices, suffer the consequences or reap the benefits of intelligent, wise choices, and just let it be and not worry about it? And that's independence is ultimately responsibility. You're independent to make your own choices and suffer or reap the benefits. Right? And you have every right. No, you don't get bailed out your student loans. No, you don't get free housing. No, you don't get it. I mean, and I agree with you in the welfare state and all that. But my philosophical question, how are you going to force them to be dependent? What? They're not voting anymore? You can't make them work. They all got to be stay at home. No way, man. No, let it go. You need more libertarianism. You need a drink. You need to smoke some pot. Not a lot, just a little. And you need to not worry about these people. These are not you. These are not your people. And stop worrying if women reject you. Stop worrying about it. Women rejected you. Women reject the majority of men, even the good-looking ones. And just let it be, right? Because you got your own life to live. And I don't care how critical or, program men are. Like, you really want women. I get it. That's what we've been doing for 2 million years. 2 billion if you believe we came back from fish or whatever animal or creature we evolved from. Right? But you're here now. I don't know about you, man. I got more important shit to do than to tisk women like, you better be independent. Like, you know what? You're not getting any more help from me. I pay enough in taxes. I'm not help. I will help out only the women I love and cherish in my life, which is very few. And I think you should do the same. And you know what? You get to watch now. You get to watch the show of women actually being independent. Isn't it somewhat intellectually interesting to see how women, like, for the first time ever, they haven't needed men? And now you're starting to see, and they tell you, this is not controversial, they didn't really want men all that much to begin with. We don't need a man. Do you hear that? And now for the first time, we've come up with the technology and the economic creativity and production that women can be independent of men. Aren't you somewhat philosophically, intellectually curious where this leads? You get to see it. And all I can conclude is it gets to more Prozac and dysfunctional kids who commit crime in the future. But we'll see how far it goes. We'll see how far it goes. But just chill out, man. Chill out. Let them do what they want. Okay? Just sit back and just, and then don't worry. Maybe there's a nice girl who, like, oh man, I want to stay at home and make some food. But no, you're not rounding up people for their choices to do what they want with their life and putting them on an iceberg and say, good luck surviving. All right. We got 2 super chats. Pixels going their own way. 20 Polish zlotys. Let's admit they are independent. Maybe then they will finally shut up about. No. See, now we could go ahead. Oh, did I do that? There we go. No, now the constructively critical Aaron comes out when for women who don't need men. God damn, you girls just bitch and whine about us all the time. Just go away. Go away. You don't need us. Go away now. I literally wrote that part. There's a paragraph in my book where it's like, I have all the data and information shows women don't need men. Most women don't like men. A fair amount hate men. Just the numbers came out, and the numbers are there. You could all debate about it later. I think, kind of the saying was, well, for somebody that you don't need us, you don't like us, and some of you just hate us, why don't you shut up? You sure stick around. Again, I'm going home with my ball now. Go. No, I mean, I'm going to go. Go. You are right. But I think there's also a lot of that is not actually speaking to women's independence. That's about the victor oppressor mindset and traitism, where a lot of women just want to make money off the fact they're born female, which many groups of people do. And that's the like, oh my God, I'm so oppressed. That's where the contradiction comes. I'm strong and independent, don't need a man. We need more government money and student loan bailouts and affirmative action and government preference. It's like a contradiction. That gets annoying. That does get annoying. And it is very demoralizing for men. And it could drive a lot of men to genuine misogyny. Like I think it has this guy where he's just like, shut up already. But you got to separate the women who whine and complain and then demand, dependence from the women who are like, no, I don't need no man. But even then, emotionally, it's like just the passport bros. I thought all the women, the anti-passport sisters, I thought they'd celebrate and rejoice that all those passport bros left. All they do is bitch and whine, which only confirms men you made the right choice. But yeah, that hypocrisy is certainly criticizable, deridable, derisible, mockable, ridiculable. Wisdom Vision Productions, $2. Go Your Own Way by Fleetwood Mac. Great song. Yeah, I'd have to tune in. Dr. Paradox, 20 generous dollars. Prove independence before dissection, sir. Also, it was a Linux Chrome issue when it came to super chats. Oh, may help others, thus worth the extra coin. Oh, wait, I have more letters. Wash your shirt. It's been 27 days. High five. On an individual basis, again, you got to judge the individual basis. Yes. Look, don't you guys know some gal who actually worked hard, works a real job, engineers, some contributing member of society, doesn't vote for socialism. And then also you got to know some loser guy pothead who still lives at home, votes Democrat, soy boys, lineal type. You got to, this is why, I mean, okay, generally women on a group consume more resources than men generally. But I don't want to make friends with people generally. I want to know individual people. Wisdom Vision Productions, $2. Managing others suck. Be a leaf, not a tree. Right. I'm not. I want to manage. I'm not. Girlfriend, you think I'm going to babysit my girlfriend? Hey, sweetheart. Oh, you did that? Well, you can leave if you do that again. Yeah. No, I'm not arguing. Nope, you could go. It's going to be this. Oh, I made a decision. Well, I don't. Well, then you can leave. There's no arguing. I made a decision. That's how it's going to be. I don't want to manage. I want to manage kids. My nieces and nephews are great. Here's $20. Let's go have some fun. Let's go get loaded up on candy and cake. Let's come back. Give me hugs. Good night. I'll see you later. I'm not sitting there, hey, you brush your teeth, you do your homework. I'm not pulling people's teeth like that. I'm not going to be in charge of the Department of Independence where I investigate women. Are you getting a real job? Are you? All right, there you go. Questions, answers, ASOconsulting.com. Link below is a link to my Amazon affiliate program. Do all your shopping there. Also links to my courses through Teachable. Get your financial act together with those courses. And then a link to my Subscribe Star channel, where for $2 a month, if you want to subscribe, you can get access to the Road Trip podcast archive. And then also I put one up for free. You might as well go there and get the free podcast. It's the Great One episode. That one you should just be able to right click and download or save. And that's it. See you guys later. Toodles.